What up, y'all? So here's a rundown from going on tour. You know, as you watch these videos, there are going to be recaps coming out on YouTube. There's going to be more information coming out on YouTube. There's going to be daily vlogs coming out on YouTube. There's a lot of content that we have from this tour, right? 21 days of content. That could be a thing, 21 days of content. But so one of the things that I learned from tour, from traveling, from being with, Drew, being with Sai, and also being with the people is that, man, people need in real life experience, right? They need IRL experiences, in real life experiences. People need IPEs, in-person events. Although we're the most connected world we've ever been, although we've been the most connected people in this world ever, I mean, you can reach hundreds of millions of people with a single social media post. Guess what? People still need that touch, that feel, that in person, look you in the eyes, shake your hand. I need to know if you're real. And it's true. We went to an event in, what city was this? We went to an event in, I think this was New York. Went to an event in New York, had an event in New York, about 50 to 70 people, fire event. And as I was going around the room, no, it was LA. It was upstairs. As we were going around the room in LA, I was talking to people, and I asked one of the guys, hey, what brought you here? What's going on? And he literally said, I just wanted to know if this guy was real. So just imagine that. People can be following you all across the world. People can be looking at all your YouTube videos. People could be doing all of these things. But the one thing people want to know is it real? That's why real estate is so dope, because people want to touch, feel, see, walk in. That's why when you're in the crypto market or the foreign exchange market and you finally withdraw that money to your Bitcoin wallet, then you finally get that money from your Bitcoin wallet to your account. That's when you know it's real. And that's when you have total faith and belief that this thing is real, that whatever you're doing is attainable. And when you see people walking, flying from place to place on our side, from the attendee side, traveling and getting inspired and being provided hope, that's incredible. It's super, super, super incredible. So number one, people need in real life events and in-person experiences, right? The next thing that I realized is that you need a team, man. You gotta have a team. Who is your group? Who is your group of people, your group of guys? Who is your group of ladies? Who is your inner circle? Who are the people that are pushing you in order to get to that next level? Who are the people that are pushing you in order to get to where you want to go? Who are the people that are pushing you and inspiring you to create the things you need to create? Because I believe you need to spend 33% of your time with three types of people. 33% of your time needs to be spent with people who are higher than you, mentors, and that'll be the smallest group in terms of numbers. That's maybe 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 people in different areas of your life. 33% of your time needs to be spent with people you are teaching. That's going to be the biggest pool of people, right? The higher level you go in whatever industry that you're in, whatever profession that you're in, and whatever walk of life that you're in, the more people you can teach. The time remains the same, but you can teach a larger number of people, which means that you can make a larger amount of impact. And then you want to spend 33% of your time with people who You want to spend 33% of your time with people who are on your same trajectory. And that's your inner circle. That may be anywhere from 5 to 15 people, right? You may not be doing the same thing, but you guys may be on the same path. You may not be in the same profession, but you guys are on the same trajectory. Who is your inner circle, right? And you have to count those. You have to every day, every week, every month do an audit on your inner circle. How are people pushing themselves? How are people elevating themselves? How are people really getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes to elevating? Who are the people in your spiritual life? Who are the people when it comes to getting physically in shape, mentally, You know, all of these things matter. Headed to the airport right now. That plane just took off. Also, one thing I learned from this trip is that you gotta have some type of physical fitness, because these things aren't easy. You have to have some mental fitness, physical fitness. You gotta be fit. You have to be mentally stable, because being on a road with two other people constantly who you may have different personalities, it can get tough. So how fit are we to keep the goal in mind, keep the mission in mind, and can we go the distance? My buddy Drew here says all the time that 95% of people, when they enter the foreign exchange market, they end up losing money. And I truly believe that's because people don't have the stamina to stay in the game long enough to eventually become good enough, right? Over leverage too fast, quit too soon. This morning I was listening to somebody and they said, so many people give up. So many people give up when they're just a week away. Think about that. So many people give up when they're just 1 week away from their breakthrough. So many people give up when they're just one connection away from their breakthrough. When they're just one event away from their breakthrough. When they're just one video away from their breakthrough. Do we know what terminal we're in?
Yeah, return is. I'm trying to figure out where this car returns.
Oh.
It's not really showing me any signs. It just has all the terminals, and look how backed up the terminals are. And that's American Airlines right there. We can't. I'm return the car for us. That is fat. That's like a 40-minute wait right there, just to get up to your terminal. Oh, right here, rental car center.
Perfect.
West 24th Street.
So we're headed to the airport right now. Real raw video.
I knew it was gonna be packed here today. Packed every day in the morning. West Coast.
And so, what type of stamina do you have? And I think a lot of times stamina comes from, I don't know what you guys believe in, but, I believe in, the good book, the Bible. I believe that, Jesus did rise from the dead, but, in the book that I read, having alone time, meditating on the word, praying, even fasting. Like after this trip, we're going on a fast to reset because we poured so much out that it's time to reset. It's time to get poured into in all of those areas. And so that's important. What does your stamina look like? You got to have the mission in mind. When you don't feel like getting up, when you don't feel like going to the events. Bro, the last event we didn't feel like going to because we thought nobody was going to go. But the last event in Arizona we went to, and guys flew all the way from Florida to come to the event in Arizona. Imagine if we didn't show up for these people. God wouldn't have blessed us. And then the Airbnb that we got happened to have 4 extra beds in it. It happened to have 4 of them in it. They were sleeping at a hotel that bunched up with 1 or 2 beds. Imagine if we don't go to that event. They get let down. We don't get blessed with their company. Maybe they get uninspired because, they thought they were going to get something they didn't get. But no, you have to show up. Show up. If it's 1 person or if it's 1,000 people, you show up for the one like you show up for the many. And the last thing I'm going to say that I learned, on this trip is that you have to build it. If we don't build it, God won't bless what we're unwilling to build. If we're unwilling to show up, unwilling to build it, unwilling to reach the people, if we're unwilling to do the things that most people don't want to do, we'll get the results that most people get, which is mediocrity. And we don't want to be mediocre. We don't want to be mediocre. That was crazy. He's looking at me funny. Don't look at me like that. We don't want mediocrity, And so this trip is taught me a lot about myself, things I have to work on. And it's just an inspiration because it's just been that great. So anyways, good tour. See y'all next time. And just remember to tune in so you don't get tuned out. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Let's go.